How's it going? That's really hot. Quick propagation update before I forget. We got roots. Anyway, so this week I am going to be carrying on with the mystery project. So if you didn't see last week's video, I shall link it up here. So go watch that first because all of this will make a lot more sense. So now that you're all up to date, you will now know that we have 50 brand new characters so far, and the next task on the list is to create a selection of bigger illustrations, one of which will be completely chosen by you guys. You've been voting all week for your favourite characters, and you've also voted for what's going to be going on in the illustration. So thank you so much for taking part with that, guys. I have already worked on the other illustrations earlier this week. So the first one was actually the only one that needs to be in colour. I actually made a start on this illustration when I took my daughter and her friend to a soft play farm place. I was actually expecting it to be really busy there, but we were actually the only ones there for ages. And while I do absolutely love working in this shed and I really appreciate that I've got this space, it was actually really nice to get a change of scenery, watch the kids having fun, and enjoy a coffee that someone else had made for me.
Are you videoing yourself?
You may have noticed that I've just written blah 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 in the middle of the illustration. That's because I wanted to keep the title a secret, but I did also need to see how text sat on the page. This may seem a random question, but did any of you guys ever play on the Wii Fit? I absolutely used to love running around that island on that game. If it wasn't so pixelated, I think I would have loved to live there. In just one 10-minute run, you would see like every type of landscape. And that's what I wanted to achieve with this illustration. So I tried my best to include a park, buildings, the ocean, a forest, and mountains. I added some of my own favourite characters here. We've got Ginger the cat, who has found a lovely shady spot under the tree to set up her picnic. She has also been joined by Coco the Shiba Inu, who asked for her coffee in a to-go cup today, and she actually has a copy of the mystery project. Finn is there too, busy loving life on the tree swing. I ended up doubling the width of this drawing because it is actually a front cover. I am aware that that is a ridiculously oversized cloud. Don't worry, there isn't a huge storm rolling in from the sea. It's actually there to just frame the blurb. I noticed that the side that will be the back cover was looking a little bit empty as well, so I chose to add Moxie the squirrel and Benji the badger walking up the hill from the town. Moxie also has a copy of the mystery project, while Benji enjoys his ice cream. Next, it was time to add a splash of colour. I was actually working outside when I started adding the colours, and when I came back inside, I noticed that they were just completely wrong and garish, so I toned the colours down to a more natural palette. I noticed that the black line work almost looked a bit too harsh, so I turned the opacity of that layer down a little bit, and I noticed that it actually made quite a cool effect in that some of the colours actually came through the line work. So the lines around Moxie looked kind of like a dark brown line, and then the lines around the tree looked like a dark green line. And in the past, I've kind of tried to achieve that by actually drawing the lines in those colours, and that's obviously a lot more time consuming. So now that I've worked out this hack, that's going to save so much time. I think this really started coming together once the shadows and the highlights were added, and I am actually really happy with how this turned out. So all I need to do with that one now is add the title and the blurb, but I shall keep that bit a surprise. Then I needed to do one more illustration, just in black and white this time. So with this one, I just wanted to capture a kind of snapshot into the daily lives of some of the characters on their island. Actually, their island needs a name. So if you have any name suggestions for their cozy little island, then do let me know. But I decided that I wanted to focus in on the town in the island. Now, my personal favourite place to be in the world would be a cozy little coffee shop on an autumn morning. So that was what we're going for with this one. So I haven't drawn that many buildings in the past, so I was really struggling with the kind of geometric shapes of the coffee shop front, especially the shade covering thing. I don't know what they're called. Something about the frills. I was just really struggling with the frills. But I just persisted with it, and I finally got to the fun part where I could add the characters and add a few cute little details. So this is actually Jeff's coffee shop. Yes, Jeff is incredibly forgetful, but as long as you don't mind being patient with him, wow, he makes good coffee. We've got Coco again. I mean, that is Coco's whole thing, so it had to be Coco. And I know that you shouldn't choose favorites, but she's my favorite. And of course, she is still working on that mystery project. She's been busy with that since summer. Since it's one of those fresh, chilly mornings, we've got Beans sat on the bench in his cozy hat and scarf, and he's sat next to his best friend, Dawn. And it is kind of hard to tell because it's just in black and white, but she is actually a robin. Beans also had a copy of the mystery project that he was working on, but of course he has dropped it. It does look like Dawn is kind of giving him a bit of a side eye, like she's kind of had enough of Beans' clumsiness. But she's actually smiling behind that coffee. She doesn't like to let it show, but she absolutely loves spending every single minute with her best friend, Beans. So as you can see, the original line work was looking really rough and messy, but it's an easy fix. Once I've got to a point where I'm happy with the composition, I just reduce the opacity of that rough layer and start a new layer on top for the final neat line work. I do try to stay with the same thickness of pen, but I do vary the line weight slightly in places with more intricate details. I learnt that by looking closely at the Coco YO style. Most of their line work is quite thick, but then there are a few areas where they've used a thinner line. This one's quite a good one to demonstrate that as well. So I tried to add a few details to make it look a bit more autumnal. There's a few dried up leaves on the floor. We've got the pumpkins. I was having some trouble trying to figure out the brickwork, and I wasn't sure whether to do cobbles on the floor, but I wasn't really sure how to depict those. That might be something that's more to be added when colouring it in. But apart from that, I am really pleased with how this one's turned out as well. Okay, so now it is time for the last illustration of the project. Your choice. So let's see what you guys have chosen for me. Okay, so I'm just checking on my phone now, and it was a good job that I left it until last minute because we've had a few more votes for our favourite characters. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to tally them all up. Let's see who the favourites are. Okay, so I have circled the top 3 in pink there, and then all of the runners up that got 3 votes each in blue. Top of the list was Bellatrix the Axolotl with her cauldron. She got 6 votes. Looney the Bat came in second with 5 votes. Beans the Bear came in third with 4 votes. I think a lot of you related with his clumsiness. And then all of the ones circled in blue got 3 votes. They don't really, I can't figure out what they've got in common, like why they were favourites. Maybe it's cuteness? I'm not sure, because I mean, Kristoff's a snake. So let's see what you guys voted for them to be doing. So I posted 4 options for you to choose from, and also asked you guys to come up with your own suggestions. So the options were camping and roasting marshmallows, hiking up a mountain forest, lying on the grass and looking up at the clouds, or tending to a pumpkin patch. You guys made some awesome suggestions as well. Building, planting a garden or vegetable patch, carving pumpkins, having a picnic, building sandcastles, playing in the park, or floating in the river. Now, last night when I checked, the first 3 had the same amount of votes, but today there is a clear winner. Camping and roasting marshmallows. You guys weren't very keen on tending a pumpkin patch, so I hope you still like my autumnal cafe with the pumpkins. Okay, so camping and roasting marshmallows. I did already include Beans in that other illustration, but Beans was third, so I think he's just going to be in both illustrations. And these two are spooky, so maybe I should give it a kind of spooky vibe. Who else should I include? I mean, I think Flint would be a good one for camping since that's kind of his habitat. We could have Mary making mud pies. I might go and have a snack and think about this. a few moments later. Okay, I am back. I brought my spooky cauldron mug since Bellatrix was your favourite, and Bellatrix is actually a name from Harry Potter as well, except she's a nice Bellatrix. So these are the 6 that I've decided to go with. We've got your top 3 and then 3 of your second favourites. So they've all gone on a camping trip. Bellatrix is going to be cooking something up in her cauldron on the fire. Luna is going to be perched upside down on a nearby tree. Flint is going to be singing them all a campfire song. Kristoff and Beans will be roasting marshmallows, and Mary of course will have made a mud pie with marshmallows sticking out of it, and she will be offering it to Beans, who is very politely declining. So let's get drawing. Okay, so all the drawings are complete. I can put it all together now and hit publish. I shall keep it a surprise until I actually have the physical copy to show you guys, but I would still love to hear what your guesses are as to what you think this might be. And thank you so much guys for getting involved. It's been so much fun, and I think the illustration that was your choice turned out to be my favourite. So next week is going to be a slightly different video. If you have been following the progress of YouTube's biggest art collaboration set up by the lovely Aussie crafter, and you watched Doodle Date's video last week, if you haven't yet, go check that out. But you may have spotted who they hand the book to next. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Yeah, I can't believe either. So don't forget to hit that subscribe and that bell icon if you don't want to miss that. Then I shall be getting back to this project. And before I go, I'm going to leave you with a slideshow of some awesome colourings that I've been sent by Kitty Cat JJ. She has really gone into some details with these colourings, so I'm going to try and zoom them in. If you guys want to send me any artwork as well, you can find my email address in my channel description. So keep on creating, my lovelies, and I shall see you next week.